how much pressure is on Mikel Arteta if he doesn't win the Premier League this year? Because
don't
obviously it'll be viewed as last year commanding position for top 4 fell away. This year, 8 points clear at the top. These 3 subsequent games where you've thrown away 6 points, really when you should have been winning them all, do you think it puts more pressure on him to deliver a major trophy next year and to not crumble again?
We have to start winning trophies. Yeah, sorry, go.
I think 100%. Yeah, next year we cannot lower the standards. We have to go for a title challenge again and try to win it and improve the squad where we can compete on all fronts. But still, no matter what happens this season, Mikel Arteta is the manager of the year.
He's the manager of the year still, even if he comes second?
Yep, 100%.
What?
100%.
What? So if Ten Hag, all right, you know what? I think Eddie Howe's got a good shout, but because no one expected that. But second and fourth place don't mean no different, by the way, just because you challenged when you didn't expect it. But imagine we got written off, by the way. We got told, I'm just going to keep it purely on Man United. Then imagine Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, finishes in third or fourth. Arteta's manager of the year.
Arteta's manager of the year because of where we've been, the position that we've been in all season and how we've been playing.
Why are you playing victim? You sound like a victim, bro.
No one's a victim.
You sound like you're playing victim, bro. Oh, because Arteta. You're not even in the process, no. Gee, you're not even in the process no more. That's the maddest thing. Your process is finished.
You even know who the
process is not finished. Process is not finished.
Your process is finished, G. When you've had 3 years, your process is finished, G. Now you're just going to improve on positions. That your process is done, bro. Your style of play, his team is there.
We're still got the same players we've had for many years. So we're still
you're going to upgrade. Your process is done, bro. It don't take 4 or 5 years to do a process.
1 second. Who's injured us, killed us, or harmed us for me to be a victim? Mikel Arteta. Speaking about Mikel Arteta being a number one of the best managers this year and being the potential manager of the year, I think all of us would have said that based on the run of this season. If we don't finish at the end of the season, I still believe he'll be manager of the year based on the progression that this team made and how we've been playing this whole season. Don't just think, because you didn't get the final.
You didn't say potential. Your words wasn't potential, G.
Bro, I always said potential. Do you think?
No, you didn't. You said he is. You said no. Even if they finish second, he's manager.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay, then.
Chuck potential out. He is going to be manager of the year, no matter what happens with this.
Hang on a minute. So if Pep wins the treble,
it doesn't matter.
Let me answer my question. If Pep wins a treble, Arteta is the manager of the year.
It doesn't matter what Manchester City do. Arteta is going to be the Premier League manager of the year. 1 second. Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said. Listen. This is not. Let me answer.
No, I don't care. I'm asking you. Miguel, I don't care about who wins the Premier League manager of the year. I'm asking you a question. Do you think Mikel Arteta deserves to be the manager of the year if Pep does a treble?
I am always speaking about Premier League manager of the year. I'm not talking about.
I'm asking you your opinion. Do you think Mikel? So if Pep does a treble, Arteta deserves the manager of the year over him, in your opinion?
No, not the FIFA Manager of the Year award. I'm talking about the Premier League Manager of the Year award.
You know it does count. You know it does count, by the way. Other trophies, right?
1 second, Terry. Let me make myself clear then.
I want you to answer the question straight. I want a yes or no.
I am answering it.
Give me a yes or no then. If Pep wins a treble, do you believe Arteta deserves the Premier League Manager of the Year?
Yes.
Does the Premier League Manager of the Year award also account for other competitions?
Premier League Manager of the Year doesn't account for Champions League, FA Cup.
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care about anything else. I'm just saying he can win. He can win the FA Premier League Manager of the Year. He can win the Ballon d'Or Manager of the Year. He can win the other Manager of the Years. All I'm saying is Premier League Manager of the Year, Mikel Arteta is winning it based off what he's done throughout this whole calendar year. Pep Guardiola, they're going to look at him and they're going to say, you know what? Voter fatigue. They're not going to give it to him. Why didn't they give it to him last year? They gave it to Klopp. I'm telling you right now.
Because he was on forefront because he actually went to finals. He won 2 cups and went into a final where Champions League lost and actually went all the way in. Maybe
1 second. They look at how many times you won Manager of the Month, how many times your team was top of the league, how many times you won so many games throughout the season, and they're going to say, you know what, Mikel Arteta deserves it based off the run of the improvement that his team's made.
Based on the run of ball, okay, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have got Manager of the Year because he finished second when he shouldn't have in that COVID year.
I honestly don't care what other examples you give me. Tell me why Mikel Arteta doesn't deserve it.
I'm not worried about why everything you've said there makes sense in from the perspective of if they gave it to him and based on how many Manager of the Months he's had and the fact that he was top for longer than Pep, I get it. That isn't my question. My question is, do you think Arteta would deserve it over Pep if Pep completes a treble?
Yes.
Why? Because, and the reason I ask why is surely a manager that goes the whole way in the 3 biggest competitions he can be in is a better achievement, balancing his squad, maintaining that continuity. How can you believe that? Winning the treble doesn't deserve Manager of the Year.
Because he's the Premier League Manager of the Year, not the World's Manager of the Year.
It's not, but when when you play Champions League games and FA Cup games, you're doing it in the middle of a Premier League season. They're not
Guess what? But Terry, you don't win Premier League Player of the Season for outperforming everyone in the Champions League.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Bro, everything's accounted for. Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Is there Carabao Cup Premier League Manager of the Year?
No.
Is there FA Cup Manager of the Year?
You don't win Young Player of the Year in the Premier League for being the best player in the Champions League. No, you don't. If you score 5 goals,
Igal, how many players have you seen that are world class for, say, Liverpool in the Champions League, but then have been piss poor in the Premier League all season? How often does that happen? Generally, when you have good seasons, your form it's a bit like with Rashford this season. Rashford's bit like form across all tournaments has been excellent. Haaland across all tournaments has been excellent. Saka has been good. He played well he didn't really play much in the Europa League, to be fair. But that's why these people get their accolades. I just find it interesting for me that I understand Arteta winning it if Pep just wins the Prem. I get it to a degree. But if a man wins the treble, every single managerial award this year, this calendar year, should all go to Pep because he would have achieved equal the greatest ever achievement in English football of a treble, and it would be his second treble. Like that needs, and by the way, a 3-peat. He'd be completing 3 Premier Leagues on the bounce. He'd be the Manager of the Year for me, 110%. League-wise, all tournaments. Now, Arteta's done brilliantly, but if Pep completes a treble, my days, he deserves it. He deserves it.
Pep is going to get recognized. He's going to get recognized by Ballon d'Or people. He's going to get recognized by FIFA. He's going to get recognized by other things. There's other ways that he's going to get recognized for winning all those major trophies. But being Premier League awards, let's not forget, it's based on the season that you've had in the Premier League. And
there's no such award, G. But
Pep's season has been up and down. Where Arsenal, we've been consistent at the top, and we've had those top performances throughout the whole season.
So who's had the better season if City win the league? Arsenal or City?
Of course, City.
So why does it matter about who had the better
middle? It's about a manager. It's not about the team.
So the team that he manages.
Listen. So wait. Why? Let me ask you a question. I want personally. I want to hear from. Is your name Duad? Sorry.
Dord.
So I want to hear from him if what he thinks as well, since he's the other Arsenal fan here. Dowd. My apologies, bro. Agal, then why wouldn't Eddie Howe deserve it more than Arteta then? Because I'm pretty sure everyone had Liverpool or Chelsea, maybe Man United at the start of the season. He's overachieving, getting to that point. He didn't bottle it again to the top 4. He's looking comfortable now. You know, he's pretty. But what's the difference? I get it. You pushed all the way,
because you have to look
at difference is last year. Did Klopp not finish only 1 point behind City? You might not finish 1 point. They had to claw back 11 points at some point, and they're still clawing back points. And he might still beat you.
It's up to you. It's up to you who you want to give it to. I'm saying Mikel Arteta is going to win it. I think I've given my reasons why he's going to win it. You don't agree with those reasons. You don't agree with my logic.
Fair enough. It's your opinion, bro. It is your opinion. So
the reason why I wouldn't give it to Eddie Howe is because of how poor the rest of the teams are finishing in the top 4. This might be one of the lowest points finishing in the top 4 this season.
Wrong. Sorry. That's wrong. This time, it's just if you look at the. Go and do your research. Last year, the points that City, that Newcastle and Man United are on, in the last 15 years, they'd be in the top 4 every single one of those seasons but one.
But if that's they're on 59 points right now,
right? And every other year after 30 games for the past 15 years that I checked, only one of those seasons would they be just outside the top 4. So this amount of points for Newcastle and United would have been, by the way, it's 8 points better than you were last year at this stage when you were sitting in 4th.
I know, but
it's what you just said is a complete lie.
I know, but last season, even if we finished top 4, we gave it to all the teams. It wasn't like we deserved to finish top 4. It was how bad we were, and then we just capitulated, and Tottenham just got it. The reason why Tottenham got the 4th position is because of how bad we were. The reason why Newcastle are so comfortable in 3rd position of how bad Tottenham have been and Liverpool have been this season trying to get into the top 4 position It's Newcastle.
That would they won these points.
Let me ask you that question. Everybody else being bad, how does that help Like if Liverpool and Spurs have been crap, how does that help Newcastle win their games?
No, I'm talking about how good if Eddie Howe deserves to get Premier League Man of the Season.
Okay, but based on your logic, if City and Liverpool were as good as they were in 2018 and 19, you wouldn't be in a title race. Therefore, your season isn't a good achievement, is it?
No, but we'll still accumulate points where it's deserve to win the Premier League. The reason why when Kez
said third and fourth,
Can I back your point up as well?
When you said about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finishing second that season when Man City won the league, Man City were comfortable first all season. Man City you guys were never going to beat Man City to the title last season.
That isn't the question that's being posed. You're saying that Newcastle were only in fourth, in a top four position. They're third currently because teams have dropped off. Based on that, and therefore it's not that good of an achievement. Based on that logic, we know that Liverpool and City have dropped off slightly points-wise. You could argue from their best teams. Does that mean Arsenal's achievements mean nothing? Of course it don't. You are where you are because you won your points, Arsenal, and you have been good enough to be in this title race. You're good enough to be top right now. To try and discredit Newcastle by saying, because Liverpool...
I'm not discrediting Newcastle as a team.
You did.
You kind of did.
Why Eddie Howe doesn't deserve to be the Premier Manager of the year?
Can I tell you why then? Can I feel like I can tell you why? Newcastle, a year and a half ago, were in relegation. Eddie Howe takes them from pretty much bottom of the league to pretty much, ninth? Then the following season continues that form. He didn't actually spend that much money either, if I'm being correct either. He got to a Carabao Cup final. I think it's like their first final since 99 or something like that. They ain't won a trophy since 55. Great, cool. We got there. Premier League. He's still in third place, bearing in mind there's games and more games to play. He still has to play you. How can you undermine such a thing? How can you undermine it? He's barely got a score, by the way. He's got a fair 11.
Who should be the Premier League Player of the Year?
I'm going to give it to Erling Haaland.
If you remove Haaland, though, who would you give it to? If Haaland can't get it, who would you give it to?
Saka.
I'd give it Saka, yeah.
I know the bait.
The reason that I say that is based on this super chat. It should be Almiron. He's won more Player of the Month awards than Saka. See, that's why the Player of the Manager of the Month award, it don't make sense. You've got to base it on end of season achievements.
Also, I don't think De Bruyne has won one in his career. I don't think De Bruyne has won one
Player of the Month
award.
It's crazy, man. Listen, I think Arteta's a great shout for it. He's in the running. But by the way, remember what I said? If Pep wins a treble, if he doesn't win that award, it is a travesty, and we should never take individual awards seriously ever again. To win a treble, it means you are the best manager, not just this year. It means you've been the best manager in the Premier League since 1999.
Because if you put that logic as well again, Terry. So Klopp got it last year. He was fighting all front. He won the 2 domestic trophies as well. He fought to the very end for the Premier League and also the Champions League. Imagine you flip the script. So they got to the quarterfinal Carabao Cup. City got knocked out. They're the FA Cup final. They might go on to win the Champions League potentially. They might even get knocked out. They could get to the very end, and they might win a Premier League. That all includes with the Premier League because you have to play extra games regardless of your situation. Arsenal, you've had one game. Like, no disrespect to Arsenal, you've been fantastic this year, bro. You've definitely overachieved, and you've definitely blown everyone's minds away. But you bottled the league, and you had one game per week since what? Feb?
1 second. I'm just going to say this.
Come on, man. A little bit of respect to Pep there, man.
The league is not done. When we do something and we win it, then you guys can come here and be like, you know what, my bad. Now he deserves it. But guess what? It's based on the whole entire season. And based on what I said, I still stand by my point. Mikel Arteta will still win Manager of the Year, even if Pep Guardiola gets a goddamn treble, because it's Premier League Manager of the Year and not Football Manager of the Year.
Guarantee if he wins it, I'll put an Arsenal shirt on, mate, and he won't win it.
Listen,
based on your logic, that means that Rashford deserves to be Player of the Year then. He won the most.
I don't think the same thing applies for players because it's a Manager of the Year. Anyways, I made my point. I gotta go. Have a good one. Love.
Cheers, Igal. Thank you. I've got some super chats to finish up on here. First one says, Igal, I rate your loyalty and pride in this conversation, but Pep winning a treble, 100% Manager of the Year. But the thing is, I actually get what Gal's saying. Based on the way he believes they picked the Manager of the Year, Arteta will win it. But my question just was, does he deserve it in your opinion if man wins a treble? And the reason why I back Pep here is because when you're managing 3 tournaments at the same time, it impacts what you do in the league, and to balance all 3 is amazing.